All right, I'm on my second gun of the day. We're going to look at a Browning BL22. Main thing I want to show you today, you have one screw to take out. When you take it out, you can slide this whole assembly out, but you need to be very careful because in this assembly is an extractor or an ejector, and underneath that ejector, thankfully, still laying in the receiver, if you can see, is a little bitty spring in there. Can you see it? Don't lose that. And this whole deal is kind of aggravating to get back together. And I really didn't want to do it because the one I just got through cleaning is the old Eastern Woods Deer Slayer. The Remington, thank goodness this is 7400 and not a 742. The 742, checking the safety. Yeah, everything works. Slide lock's open. The bolt lock's open, rather. These are notoriously hard to take apart. There's about 3,000 videos on YouTube if any of you need to know how. But it's one of those things I knew it was going to be so aggravating to get it all apart. That I didn't want to have to fool with the camera. I'm sorry, but there's plenty of videos on there if you want to know how to do it. These BL22s are awesome. Little guns, very short throw, like a lot of lever action 22s. But these are, man, these are one of the slickest that can be had. Trouble we got with this one is it is misfiring a little bit. And so we're going to take a look at the firing pin. I don't know, as I am going to film the whole process. What I do know is that the real reason I wanted y'all here today is to show you I just happened to come across some tools in my shop, and wanted to give a shout out to a buddy of mine. This is actually a custom made spanner wrench for an AR-15, and you can see there's the new type right here with 3 lugs. There's the old school type that just had one lug on the ring and was, was staked. And a buddy of mine, his nickname, I'll just say his nickname on there is T-Bone. T-Bone and I used to shoot together, me and him and my buddy Rick, and even traveled to some IDPA championship shoots together. And you may have seen this brass hammer in some of my videos before, but it was also made by T-Bone. If you haven't figured it out, he's a machinist. He also threaded the barrel on my 1022 for me way back in the day. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him for making me these cool tools. You can see he also put me a 1/2-inch drive in here so that if I wanted to put a torque wrench on there to torque that ring down good when I'm putting the buffer tube in an AR assembly. And these tools have served me well. And I'm thankful for them. And take care, T-Bone. All right, so I'm going to get to cleaning this thing before I do anything else. Main thing I wanted to do is check on this firing pin. From everything I can see externally, it looks good. I even opened the action and pushed the firing pin forward so that I could see that the end of the firing pin that actually contacts the rim of the cartridge is intact. It looks good. It doesn't look chipped or broken from what I could see outside looking in. Now we're going to have to do some inside looking in. So I'm gonna pause this until I get this thing kind of cleaned up, and then if I find an obvious problem, I'll come back and show you what it is. If not, I'll just show you the rifle put back together. He did admit that he didn't know that it had ever been cleaned. So, and you know, that's the thing with 22 rifles. They are the most abused rifles in the house. We would never think of shooting, 15 or 20 rounds with our hunting rifle in the light mist and rain and just come in the house and just kind of wipe it off and throw it over in the corner. But we'll do that to a 22 in a heartbeat, and sometimes these guns go decades without being cleaned until they stop working, and then it's like, oh, okay, maybe I ought to take this thing apart and see what's going on. But they are definitely some of the most used rifles in the home, and they are some of the most abused rifles in the home. So keep yours clean, keep it running well, and keep that chamber and bore clean. It's not that big of a deal, and it, like me, I really enjoy cleaning about as much as I do shooting, because just taking them apart and checking for wear on the parts. And granted, sometimes I have let it go for a few hours up to a day or so before I clean. I have two rifles sitting at home right now in a carrying, or two revolvers sitting at home right now in a carrying case that I shot with a couple of students the other day because they wanted to try some double action only revolvers. And something other than the 22 that I let them shoot. So I took a 38 and a 357 Smith & Wesson and a Ruger GP 100, and a Smith & Wesson, what was it, a Model 10 with a 2-inch barrel and a bobbed hammer. And they're still sitting at home, dirty. So maybe that'll be the next video when I get the revolvers out and get to cleaning them. But let me check what's going on with this thing and get it cleaned up. And if I find something obvious about why it's not shooting, it's not firing cartridges every time, I'll come back and point it out. And it may just be the fact that it's gummy in here. So, all right, I'll be back in a flash. What do you think? I see a little carbon right there on the end. Get my glasses again. Y'all are used to that, aren't you? Well, all right. Let me show you what I see. I see carbon buildup in here, right here, which could soften the blow. I see some carbon and you know, it's just some general gunk right there. I see some on each side of this. I'm gonna clean that off. The firing pin, I don't know. Let me see if I can get the light right on it. It looks to me like that's a factory grind, but it looks a little worn on that side right there. I'm gonna clean it up, and I think I'm gonna tell him that try it, if it shoots good, everything's good. If not, we may need, and I will inset a picture a little better of what I'm seeing. It's only on one side. It would be on the left side of the firing pin that I see some wear, but I'm not so sure. That would make it misfire at all. So I'll inset a picture right here, and you just tell me what you think. There's a firing pin return spring. Looks good. Clean out that channel some right there. And I think I'm gonna put it back together. All right, so I got the BL22 back together. Good and clean now. I inset the pictures of the firing pin, and I think you could see that really doesn't look bad. I think what I'm going to do, since it's clean now, because there was a lot of buildup in there. I think I'm just going to tell him to take it, shoot it, and if he thinks it's not, if the firing pin's not up to snuff, if he keeps having misfires, we'll put a new one in it. But I think that firing pin's okay. It's other than the gun being neglected, it's really not that worn. I thought, so I got it cleaned up in there. You know, everything looked really good shape. So I think we're going to go with that firing pin, see how it works. And if I need to change it later, I will. But I appreciate you stopping by today. And leave a comment. You can like, subscribe if this floats your boat. If not, thanks for dropping in anyway. And have a good day.